Hey everybody! So today we're going to go over how to use Crepe Hair. So in your kit you should have this weird little, thing of hair that's kind of braided together. And what you're going to do, go ahead and just pull. And it should unravel as so. So you each have about 6 inches of this. So once you've got it like that, go ahead and start pulling this apart. So, starts to do this. So depending on the texture that you want, you can either straighten it, which is what I'm gonna do with the straightener here. So I've got this on high, so that it's ready when I've got this ready. And I'm just gonna continue pulling this apart when you straighten it. So if you don't want this beautiful curly texture as your beard, what you'll do is you're going to take this, take a straightener. You can also use an iron. I just figured you most likely would have a straightener on hand, or you might know someone with a straightener versus an iron. But you're going to run it through it just like you would hair. I'm going to separate a little bit of that. So remember to keep it moving. See, look at that beauty. You don't want to iron it too much, just enough to get those fibers a little more straight. Make sure your fibers are all going in the same direction. And I'm going to turn off my iron, and we are done with that. All right, so normally I would use spirit gum. Mine is glued so far shut. I'm gonna try out my Aide. Whether or not you use Aide or spirit gum, what I want you to do, no matter what, is do a test patch on your skin just to make sure it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna use this Q-tip. Have a paintbrush or a makeup brush that you do not care about, go ahead and use that. It's gonna get ruined if you use it for this type of application. Just sit for a little bit. The way you use Aide is, and spirit gum, is you apply it to your skin in a thin layer, and then you're gonna wait until it gets tacky. And now that it's tacky, I'm just gonna take a tiny chunk of hair, push that hair into it, and that's how we're gonna do it. I've got my plan, so I'm looking at my photo as a reference and thinking about the plan. So we're gonna build upward. I'm gonna start at the bottom of my chin and do this part first, and it's gonna go up here towards my lip, and then I'm also gonna build it out like that. And I need mine to be about this long, but you're gonna go longer because essentially we're gonna trim it up afterwards to make it look pretty. We're gonna give ourselves a haircut. Make sure you've got your chunks of hair, and I'm just gonna go ahead and take a look at where I want to place it. So I want to use the corner of my mouth, and I'm going to extend a little bit past it on both sides, and I'm going to give myself a beard going right there. So I'm going to do this one at a time. So this feels okay, we're going to go for it, and I'm going to apply the Aide to the first layer of my skin. So just going to go from that corner all the way over here and try and end about the same. So now I've got to let that dry. And while I do that, while it's drying, I'm going to go ahead and get my hair pieces ready. So I am going to cut them at an angle because you want the hair to kind of lift off, because hair grows out of your skin. Sure, it just doesn't grow straight down, we don't want to just apply it like that. We're going to apply it like this. So they're angled a little bit. So as you can see, I've got my hair, and it's great to save those shavings. You can do stubble with them. That's always a great use of that. This is pretty good. She feels tacky. I'm gonna separate that a little bit, and I'm going to stick it on. I'm gonna use, oops, that's attaching to me, stop it. I'm gonna go ahead and just grab a new Q-tip. I'm just gonna tap that on there, but I'm not gonna focus too hard on getting it completely down yet, as I'm gonna keep moving to get the rest, this whole beard layer on there before my time runs out. Just gonna go through and use this Q-tip to just really make sure it's stuck on there. You might want to let it dry before you completely play with it. I know for sure that we're going to be trimming it, so I'm just going to right away cut off this chunk because I'm going to use this for my next layer. So go ahead, get your Prose Aide, and I'm just going to move in a little bit. I'm gonna get my hair ready, but we're just gonna do the angled cut. So it's just about clear, and then we'll add another layer. And I am gonna do one chunk at a time, just as we did last. So, gonna go ahead, get a Q-tip, whatever you're using for this part, and just kind of gently stroke them down. I'm gonna go ahead and prep my next layer of hair. We're slowly building in towards the goatee, so I'm not gonna need as much on this next round. So let's dry. We are tacky. We're gonna go ahead and place our next layer on. So we're getting smaller. Ooh. Just move that layer off. Not get too much this time. Just below my lip. Right there. So I'm gonna cut off this top of this one. I'm gonna cut it in the direction I want it. It's really good if you can like get it as small as possible. Clippings. My bag, save it for later, and we're tacky. Go ahead, and we're gonna put it, tap her down on there just like so. And then, next we're gonna move on to the mustache, and we're gonna plan out what we're gonna do. So we can kind of make a crazy, we're gonna build it up, and we wanna go in this triangle, okay? Grab your Prose Aide, build up our way to the nose, okay? Get that first lovely layer on. I want to extend a little past my mouth. Let it dry. While it's drying, go ahead and prep the hair pieces. I want them to already be a little angled that way. Same with over here. So once it's ready, go ahead and apply. Okay. So there's going to be a distinct part that I'm going to try and create between the two. So let's get the next layer on. I'm just going to build it above. Same thing, prep your hair. Get that on there. And then the next piece. We are going to grab that smaller piece and fill in one more layer. I'm going to stretch my lip down like that. Yep. And that's where we're filling in. And now we wait. Let that dry. While it's drying, go ahead and prep your hair. So this side is ready, so I'm going to go ahead, apply that one. Find a Q-tip. Brush those babies in there. And the next thing I really want to do is apply some right down to this middle, just so that we can clean that up a little bit. Put it right down the middle. Let it dry. Okay, and then I'm going to trim this so it's ready. Oh, hey. Get stuck on. Have more for later. So that's a thing we're going to do, is we're going to grab and go through and pull out any that did not stick. So this is ready. There we go. That's it right up. The thing I'm noticing is I would like to add another layer right here and just do a small glue right there, and then find a good chunk of hair to use. So drill it that it's clear, so I'm going to go ahead and add it. There we go. Look at how nicely that's filled in. Ooh. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit. I have a really wide tooth comb, and I'm actually going to hold it right here and just gently comb out stuff that did not stick. So for my face beard, I'm just going to comb out the bottom. So I just want to go back in and glue on another chunk right there, because it's feeling a little sad and empty right there. So let's see. Get a little Aide. Add some glue. Find your chunk of hair. I'm actually going to use what we just pulled out to put it together. So now we're going to clean it up. Honestly, I'm going to just tuck my mustache behind my ears temporarily while I deal with this guy. Fluff and get that together. And I'm going to trim up with my scissors. And I'm just going to trim off this side. Also be very careful. Sharp scissors near you, maybe ask a friend. Do not need all of that. Alright, and again, I'm saving all of this. So then so that's kind of the shape I want to go. So every once in a while, only do a little bit at a time because less is going to end up being more. And now we get this crazy mustache figured out. So I want to have it about here. So what I'm gonna do is do a base chop on both sides there. And then what I'm gonna do is do the same feathery cut. So what I'm gonna want to do is I'm just hold it so that I can feather it better. Okay, so we're gonna stop here. I'm gonna go ahead and use some hair pomade that I have to pull it together. So just go until you can get it to the shape that you would like. Okay. So beauty style isn't necessarily my forte, but this should give you an idea of how to do it yourself. Right, now we're gonna go ahead and do some makeup application. So I don't want to add too crazy much. Alright, and then we're going to add foundation around all of this. I'm going to use a sponge to apply it. Really just get it everywhere. Alright, got our beautiful base on. A few things. One, let's start with contour. Men's faces are a bit more angular, so I am really going to try and chisel out my cheeks today. Do this side. Go ahead and powder. One thing I want you to do, go ahead and fill in So I'm going to teach you how to remove it. So I have an adhesive remover. You might have some spirit gum remover. I'm just going to put a little on a Q-tip and then start rubbing it up into the hairs. Just a little bit at a time until they start releasing. Ooh. Yeah, what a time. You can either keep going to get the rest of these off with the smear gum remover, or get some makeup wipes and start getting everything off. Get some lotion on it real quick.